Good morning, everybody. It's me, Mitch. No countdown this morning. No countdown. I can't believe it. I forgot to change it over from the opening yesterday. I got the wrong icon up in the corner. It's Monday morning. I'm so screwed up by this time change. So screwed up. So let me change this number one and make sure we got a coffee cup up there. Yes, sir, because that's what we want to do is have coffee this morning. Number two. Oh, boy, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Well, the second thing I need to do is make sure when I'm done here, that my outro plays. So I will set that. And now I'm set. I'm set. And that just brings up, let's get back to normal. Welcome. Good morning. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch on a Monday morning, the first Monday of daylight savings time. And I don't know what the hell we're saving it for because it's dark outside and it's 7 o'clock in the morning. And I hate this. Have I said I'd rather stay on regular time all year? But I feel good this morning. I got a good night's sleep. I got to bed early last night. I kind of bailed out on Butter Bob's show about 9 o'clock so I could get to bed. I don't know how long they went. Seems like they were getting set up for a marathon there last night. Had a nice time. It was great to see all the Mitchfits represented. Super, super. And Kelsey's done. That's great. And I guess I'm live. Everybody's talking, and I guess you can all hear me. Okay. Down to business. Drink it if you got it. And this morning I'm drinking my second cup of coffee. Yes, the first cup, according to my latest video, was the one that had the MCT and a little butter in it. And it was great, and I drank that about 5:45. It's 7 o'clock. I'm going to have my second cup of coffee with creatine. Completely tasteless. And I may or may not have a third cup, but probably not. So I'm done with my caffeine prescription pretty much by 8 o'clock in the morning. And that's important. That's important. Lori says the new time is great for her. Well, of course, everything is usually split 50-50. I think more people like daylight savings time because more people have a life and don't get up in the middle of the night like us old people do. But for me, I guess I get used to it, and then the days start to get longer. So the sun comes up earlier and earlier until we get to June 21st, the longest day of the year. But right now, at this point, where the days haven't gotten longer yet, the sun, it doesn't start to get light until about 7:30 in the morning. By that time, I've been up for 3 hours, which goes against the natural living your life by sunlight. So you got to wait 3 hours for the sun to come up. It is what it is. I can't change any more than I have, but I want to before we get started, I want to talk just a second. There's many of you who think I've gone absolutely nuts. After a YouTube career of screaming, keep it simple, keep it simple, keep it simple, and even on Butter Bob's panel last night, I gave a time out because it was getting so crazy. And I just want to make sure that everybody on there realizes that I wasn't saying that anybody was doing something wrong. I was just trying to point out how much how much complicated information is being put out there by everybody that gets their face on camera, well-meaning, maybe right, maybe wrong, doesn't matter. But it just keeps further complicating it for the poor people that are trying to figure out, well, what do I do? And nobody ends up doing anything consistently. They're always, oh man, I need to add that to my regimen. I need to add the other thing. And my message has always been, stop paying attention to these things. And last night, the thing that kind of set me off was this thing we call protein-sparing modified fast. What does that even mean to you? What does it mean? Protein-sparing modified fast. Does that mean anything? Or does it mean something different to everybody that hears that term? It has the word protein in it. It's modified. It's sparing. What is a spare? How do we modify it? What does that first word protein mean? And then it ends up with the word fast. Whoa! I always thought to fast means you don't eat. So all of these terms that end with the word fast, like a sardine fast or whatever, contradict the term fast. So we have so many terms with so many definitions. Rick says a protein spare PSMF is how to look anorexic. Well, the name actually means that you don't lose muscle mass. It spares your body's protein and you only lose fat. That's what it's supposed to mean. Well, if you fast, a normal fast, you are not going to use up your body's protein until you absolutely run out of fat. A fast, by definition, focuses your body on fat burning. Now, of course, it may how adapted you are. If you weigh 400 pounds and you're still eating a diet of all sugar, a protein modified sparing fast may not or may spare your lean muscle mass, which is what they refer to when they use the term protein. It's so confusing. And when you got 8 or 9 people all talking about things to do, and everybody's talking about some different scheme and some different fast that they do, and the timing of how they do it, the rest of the people are going, what? I don't know what I'm supposed to do now. I thought I was just supposed to eat fatty meat, avoid plants and sugars, and try to do some kind of intermittent fasting. I thought those were the rules. Now I'm hearing about, so I just get kind of like, time out, everybody. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. And I think that's the best thing we can do. The most important things that we can do, and you all know this because that's another problem. We're all just preaching to the choir, aren't we? There may be a new person here and there, but the rest of us sit around and all of this stuff does to us, many of us who haven't figured out, is get us to, do I need to do that too? Do I need to consider that? Am I doing something wrong? And we just sabotage what is the simplest and most natural way to eat. Has served me well. And if you don't have a particular medical condition or genetic condition or something that's causing the basic simple plan not to work, keep it simple. If it's not working, then you have an individual problem. that needs some investigating, and God forbid, maybe even the intervention of the medical community. God bless their little hearts. Here's to you. So, I try to keep it simple. But then I hear this. But Mitch, now you're starting to make it complicated with coffee routines and all this other stuff. I thought so no matter what I do or say, somebody's always going to be finding fault. Well, that's okay. I understand. And it may seem, after my coffee video, that maybe I'm overcomplicating this stuff. Nobody said that there aren't specific issues if you keep it simple. I've suffered from a very common specific issue by keeping it simple. The reason I probably suffer from this particular very common specific malady while doing carnivore exactly as I suggest is the state of the nutritional value of the foods that are available to us today. It's no doubt that the animals that we're finally getting available to us in bulk in the supermarkets, in Sam's Club, are not as nutritionally correct as the animals that our ancestors were chasing around with spears 100,000 years ago. The soil doesn't have the nutrients in it. And what nutrients are these? Most common, electrolytes. I've accepted the fact that being a carnivore means we've got to focus on certain supplements, even while we keep our diets simple. The diet part is easy. The hard part is figuring out which supplements aren't in your food and coming up with a regimen to add these supplements that actually works. And that's the complicated part. And that's the part of my journey that I'm on now. So I made the coffee video. I'm going to give it a while. It seems to be working. The caffeine does not hurt me. I'm done with the caffeine usually before 10 o'clock in the morning. The thing I've learned about supplements over the past couple months, and I'm learning every day, and I'm researching, and I'm studying, and I'm trying to make some sense of this information so that I can pass it on to you when I'm pretty well sure that it's not going to hurt you and might help, is many other factors about supplementing, which can be a science in itself. And this is important. The dosage. What supplement are you taking? Where did it come from? What does it have in it? Is it labeled correctly? What time of day are you taking it? How many times a day are you taking it? Do you have to take it with or without food? Is it getting digested properly? Is it getting absorbed properly? Or is it getting swept right out the chute because of anti-nutrients maybe in some of the food you're eating? Not a problem we carnivores seem to have. But if you're eating a high plant diet, you stuff yourself full of all those healthy fruits and vegetables, take your magnesium. That magnesium binds up with all of that fiber and everything else and goes right out your chute or out in your urine, and you get no magnesium and wonder why you still get leg cramps at night. It is complicated, but it's not complicated. Actually, very simple once you learn a few basic rules. And my focus lately has been on magnesium, and it came up last night. If you were watching Bob's thing, it came up last night because I got the comment from one of the other panelists, and he was absolutely right. He says, in response to my coffee video, well, caffeine causes a lot of water to be flushed out of your body, and along with all that water goes all that magnesium that you need. So you got to stop drinking caffeine because it's taking your magnesium away. Well, wrong. Wrong. I wish I had one of those buzzers. You know, the kind you get on a quiz show when you're wrong. Yes, that's true. If you happen to take your magnesium and swallow it down with a gulp of coffee. Brian Dish says, Mitch, are you saying that soil has been ruined by our farming? What about non-farm lands like where the wild animals live? Yes, but that's not where our food's coming from, unfortunately, Brian. You're absolutely right. But our food from Costco or Sam's Club or Publix is not coming from the wild plains of the savannah. It's coming from factory farms and big barns where they're feeding them baled grass and then baled grains. And that food is coming from raped soil and monocropping and everything else, and soy and all the stuff is bad. So yeah, we have to supplement. I'm afraid we have to. Now, there's a very simple way to find out if you have to supplement. Ever have a leg cramp? We all have leg cramps now. Why? We're not getting magnesium. Very simple. I've learned that. I've proven that to myself. If I'm getting magnesium, I don't get the leg cramps at night. If I'm deficient in magnesium, I don't sleep too well. I wake up in the middle of the night. I get horrible leg cramps. And that's a sign. That's a sign. Mitch, you need more magnesium. Is the coffee depleting my magnesium? No. Why? Because timing. And I'm going to make a video and may release it today or tomorrow, maybe even today. I've been working on it. It's time for it because the subject is important. How do I supplement magnesium under what regimen? So maybe my message is going to be getting a little more complicated, but not in the food department. Keep the food simple. Eat the fat. Make sure you get the fat. And if you're making sure you get the fat, you don't have to worry about protein because anything you eat that's not fat is going to be protein because you're not eating plants or carbs. So it's very, very simple. At least that's how I do it. You may want to do it differently. You have every right. I'm going to be talking more about magnesium supplements. The coffee, the caffeine I drink in the morning, that helps me by helping deliver the effects of increased ketone production and creatine. And no, hot coffee does not destroy creatine. That is an old wives' tale. Believe me, the warm coffee, hot coffee, cold water, sprinkle it on your steak, do whatever you want. Doesn't matter what time of day. Just get if you're going to do creatine, just get sometime during the day, get it in your body. It doesn't act when you take it. It's not like a drug that immediately goes to work. We have a residual level of creatine in every one of our cells. After you've been taking creatine for about 20 days, it will increase that residual level in your cells. And whether you take it in the morning, in the evening, during the day, throw it in your electrolyte drink, drink it with a glass of water, eat the powder, it doesn't matter. As long as you get the creatine into your body sometime during the day in some form or manner, it will effectively help maintain that higher level of creatine phosphate that it results in all your cells. And that's where this little extra added boost of energy comes from in the creation of ATP. Simple. So I drink my creatine in my second cup of coffee. Now I've had my caffeine. I've had my first cup of coffee with the supposed health benefits. I haven't taken any magnesium yet today. None, zero, zip, nada. So I don't have to worry about this caffeine flushing it out of my system. I didn't put it in my system yet. I will start dealing with supplementing magnesium sometime before my first meal of the day and continue it in a certain pattern throughout the day with proper hydration until I go to bed at night, and spread the dose out over the course of the day. And so it's metered in. I include it in capsule form. I have it mixed into my electrolyte drink, and it's working. It's working. I'm sleeping great. 0 leg cramps. I'm not ODing on magnesium, but I'm taking it smart, and I'm taking the right magnesium. I'm taking 2 different forms, magnesium citrate and magnesium glycinate, and I'm going to talk about that in this video, where I'm going to try to simplify it. And if you're one of these people that has terrible leg cramps, keeps waking up in the middle of the night, feels nervous and jittery, has all the symptoms of deficient magnesium in your cells, then even if you're taking magnesium, chances are you're making a lot of the mistakes that I did, that I finally figured out and researched, that I might have been taking it, but because of the way I was taking it or what I was taking, I ended up peeing it all out because of all the things I was doing wrong. So it's important. I think this will be an important video, because who the hell likes cramps? Aaron says you can get cramps on being dehydrated. Well, absolutely. And hydration and proper hydration timing is all part of what I'm going to be talking about when it comes to magnesium. Because if you take magnesium and you're dehydrated, the magnesium cannot get absorbed. It can be very simple if you just kind of understand how it works and make a regimen for yourself, which is not complicated. One of the big mistakes that people seem to make is they take magnesium, especially glycinate, right before bed. Take magnesium glycinate before bed, but most people don't drink a lot of water before bed because they don't want to get up and pee. So they're in a dehydrated state when they take this bedtime dose, and this bedtime dose does them no good because magnesium needs to be taken in a hydrated state, or it will not be absorbed by your gut lining. So all these little nuances, and it's so simple. I've come up with a regimen. It's so easy. You just got to remember, okay, just do this throughout the day. And it's easy when you don't have to really worry about your food choices. I don't spend any time worrying about what my menu is going to be or when I'm going to eat. I just eat the same food, same time every day. Having bacon and eggs, maybe a little beef afterwards if I haven't had enough food. Once a week, maybe some chicken thighs or fish, and that's it. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. I don't worry about protein sparing modified fasts. I don't worry about all this stuff. I don't do this today and do that tomorrow and fast the next day. And I just do the same thing every day. Fast almost 20 hours every day, which is all the fasting I need. I don't worry about mandatory organ meats. I just keep going. And so far, so good. I keep fine-tuning it, but trying to keep it simple. Sorry about the long monologue, folks. But I got to keep getting back to the simple message, because all we do by continually giving us more and more that we need to try to control, we need to think about, consider, may be good, may not be good. All that does is basically sabotage us eventually, let our cravings take over again. When we're doing great, we're doing the right thing right now, eating adequate fat, probably the single most important thing. Eat the fat. Don't be afraid of the fat. Tough to do in today's narrative. Heard Kilsey this morning talking about, even with all the new government information, the emphasis is still on low fat, mostly plant-based. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. They still tell you don't eat more than 10% saturated fat. That hasn't changed. That will keep them from changing all of the guidelines used by the schools, the military, the nursing homes, and any other government-subsidized program. Nothing has changed. They have won. Don't pay any attention to the man behind the curtain. If you all get that reference, and I'm sure you do. We, in our community, still need to be what they call contrarians. We need to think and act in complete opposite to the mainstream narrative that supposedly tells us how to be healthy, and yet every day more and more heart disease, more and more diabetes, more and more dementia, more and more pain and suffering, more and more medical costs. But don't believe your lying eyes, folks. We're here to help you. We're the federal government. That is the fourth great lie. There are many great lies in this world. The first of which, the check is in the mail. Second lie, I love you. Third lie, inappropriate for a mixed audience. The fourth lie, hi, I'm from the federal government and I'm here to help you. And we fall for them. We are a brainwashed, herded bunch of sheep being led to our own slaughter and paying for their privilege all the way. It's sad, but it's true and evident everywhere you look. And we're rebels and we think for ourselves. But let's not sabotage ourselves by making things more complicated than they need to be and just focus on the few problems that occur because we're trying to do the best we can. And of all the supplementation, I think the biggest one where we see the most problems is lack of magnesium. And I think that I'm getting there on making sure that I have adequate magnesium without having to overdo my dosage or worry about it too much, and simplify some kind of a regimen that I can follow without making it too complicated. And that's what I'm going to be talking about. So anyway, thanks for listening. I hope that meant something to you. And it's obvious that I'm passionate about all this stuff. Don't mistake my passion for being angry when I seem to get excited or passionate about it. It's passion because, at least for me, I've been struggling to figure out what works for a lifetime. And as I get closer and closer to it, I get passionate when I see people that I think are focusing on things that aren't going to help them when it's so simple. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm just one other little guy like all of us that are talking away on YouTube every day and in videos. Certainly not making much of a mark, but I'm making a small mark. And anyway, that's all I want to say about that today. Good morning. Here's half over already. God, Mitch, and here I thought Butter Bob was pontificating last night, and he managed to keep it for about 15 minutes. I've done it for half an hour. I understand, Bob. I understand. Once you get going on something, you can go for a long time. I have 108 people here. Wow, I didn't lose people, so I must have been saying something. But all I can tell you is I feel great. I feel great now. I'm walking all over the place. I've got energy like I haven't had in a year. The coffee thing is great. I'm loving the coffee in the morning. And I know it's good for me. I don't have to think, I'm just doing this because I'm addicted and it's terrible and I need to give it up because it comes from a plant. No, I'm not eating plants, but God, I waved a plant near the water and I'm drinking that and everybody's telling me that it's no good. They tell me the caffeine is killing me. It makes me feel great, gives me that extra little boost of energy in the morning, and it's not hurting me. So, I'm 79 years old. I mean, I'll be 79 years old in less than 2 months, so I'm going to start saying I'm 79. I'm close enough now. I'm not going to wait for the day like Kelsey did. I've been in my 79th year now for 48 weeks or something like that. So I'm more 79 than I'm 78. That's for damn sure. How old do I have to get before people don't see that this stuff I'm doing is killing me, making me lose my mind? Although the jury may still be out about that, but it's causing me to be in pain. I'm feeling great. We all going to wait around until I'm 110 to say, "Wow, God, all that stuff Mitch said was right," but it's now 30 years too late for me to implement it. That's the problem with the studies we have. None of them are long-term enough. We don't know whether any of these so-called life extension techniques are going to work. Come back in 30 years. See who's still living. If Mitch is still here, drinking coffee and smoking cigars, then whatever I told you about these things not killing me, evidently there's a little more evidence, but it's still just anecdotal evidence. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I'm in a mood this morning. I am in a mood. I actually slept great. I woke up with tremendous energy this morning. I'm happy. I'm content. I think I'm on to the right stuff. I'm happy to share it. I'll get all kinds of opinions. You wouldn't believe the comments I got on that coffee video. How much chastising. How many people told me, "I'm not drinking coffee no matter what you say. Coffee's bad, so-and-so. Andrew Huberman says don't drink caffeine for an hour and a half before." I used to believe that. But that's the thing about our beliefs. We have to be open-minded enough to change our beliefs, to say, well, I used to believe that, but I found out that was wrong, so now I believe this. And until I find out something else and find out this is wrong, this is the current state of my beliefs. How many of us have the ability to do that, to be that open-minded and not marry ourselves to a given belief, no matter how much proof ever comes out that that was wrong? Very few of us have that ability. Once we get an ideology, we're stuck with it for life. We're stuck with it. That's why they call it ideology. It becomes part of you. Where was I? Lori, alarm set. Yes, this is yesterday. Carnivore Jerry. Hello, Lori. And we had, I'm back as a Mitch Fit member again, Jerry. What happened, Jerry? Google screw you up? And glad to have you. We'd miss you if you weren't here. Lady June says good morning. And Michael, Sealy, I'm not going to go through everybody here, but I want to get up to at least 7 o'clock and ring the bell. And make sure I got the bell set up. Yes, I do. Richard Williams, how you doing? Richard Robert Hogus here this morning, and Sandy Blythe is here. All my friends. Mike Sealy in Melbourne. Looking forward to the meetup this Friday. I think it's going to be fun. Looking forward to seeing everybody that's coming down. It's still not too late. All you got to do is show up. You don't need to register. Kindly let us know with an email to either me or Mike Sealy. But you don't even have to do that. You could just show up. That's a big restaurant. It's going to be empty probably when we first get there at 11:30. And we can accommodate you. Even I chimed in. Seemed like a year ago. Rick, good morning. Rick, how you doing? Tammy, good morning to you. And Lori Watsel's back this morning. Good morning, Lori. How are you? All my favorite people are here. Robert Mellinson is here. Good morning. Good morning, my friend. And Wayne Herman, and 6:59 p.m. Sean is here. And as if there's any surprise, Robbie Autry. Lambs this morning is conspicuous by his absence at 7 o'clock, and Rick took his place and chimed right in after that. Brian Dish chimed in. Larry Ryan chimed in at 7. Lori Anthony at 7. Lady June at 7. Everybody was on the ball. I wasn't on the ball. I screwed up my opening this morning. Instead of a 30-second countdown, I forgot to load the video, and my pretty face came up. Surprise. But I rose to the task. I was ready. Why? Because I've already had caffeine, and I am running on it. And I love this energy in the morning. And it's good for me. There is no detriment to it. And I haven't taken any magnesium yet for it to dump out. So I don't have to worry about that. I will not start taking any magnesium for about 2 hours after I'm done with the caffeine. So the caffeine will not dump caffeine. So all these people that tell me that the caffeine is dumping magnesium and I got to give it up, I will say, what caffeine? I mean, what magnesium? I haven't taken it yet. So timing of everything is just as important as the everything itself. Simple. Simple. But one constant in making YouTube and talking about these things, no matter what you do, no matter what you say, somebody will always find fault with you and tell you why they're smarter and the way they do it is better. My mind is so open that I don't discount that. When somebody tells me that, I actually look into it and I'd give them the benefit of the doubt and say, maybe they got a point there. That's what's called having an open mind. A rarity. A rarity. Rick says the time. What is that word? I can't read it with my glasses. The time, Chanle. I don't know what that means, Rick. Either I'm channel, CHAN. I don't know what that means. Maybe a typo. Maybe it means something. Rick knows something I don't, which is entirely possible. Hello, Aaron. Aaron, you're still the clear winner, even though Kiltsy tried to outdo you this morning with a carnivore family that had 9 children. I said, not so fast, not so fast. We have the clear winner in our community already, although it still boggles my mind. Don Schauger checked in. How you doing? And this computer is not showing. Play? Could it be? Play? Have a good day, young man. Thank you. I like that. I don't recognize either. Donna Ray's here. How you doing, Donna Ray? And Tracy Thompson. So, question, can we still have music, says Lori. Well, I have that countdown music on my morning coffees. And yes, absolutely. At night, At night in my live streams, we have the 5-minute countdown where I have my my new song and my old song. And as long as I got buttons here, we will have music. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, promise Wednesday morning, I won't forget. I I will have gotten used to the time change. We'll have... The good news about all these electronic clocks is they set themselves. The watches, the cell phones, but all the other clocks, including these studio clocks that I got here. I got this studio clock. You can't see it. It's right up there, a little right out of the picture, and it's internet connected too. And the what you got to do to go reset it twice a year, connecting to it by Wi-Fi, trying to open an app on your cell phone, which will tell it which time zone to set. It's so frustrating. I hate it. And I had to go through that twice yesterday. I got 2 of those clocks, one outside and one inside in my office. It was outside. I got the one because I used to do my morning coffee before my stroke from outdoors. And those things are accurate to the second. The second hand is actually synchronized with the time standard. So you can look at that clock and know when you need to go live and be right on the second. But setting it ahead or back an hour is a pain in the ass. I mean, a pain. And I did get that done yesterday. I set my stove clock. I have a couple of other manual clocks. And the only thing I haven't set yet, I haven't gone into in my car, the last vestige of Eastern Standard Time, I have to go into my car on that screen, go into settings, go to clock, and tell it, yes, now it's daylight savings time. It's not smart enough to know on its own when that happened. And I'll do that today. Retired Rick's here, Super Tunes here. How you doing? Put QQQ in the chat. I'm burning up this hour in a big hurry. Let's see who's here. I'm so far behind. But I don't think the things I said were a waste of time. And I think we can't hear those things enough. I always say I'm preaching to the choir. Most of us already know these things. But we're so easily distracted by things that we're hearing are important, and some of them are. And some of them, I don't want people to stop. I don't want people to stop considering new ideas. I mean, it would get very boring on YouTube if we were at a point where we know it all and we're not going to discover anything new. I think we have to slow down a little bit, curb our enthusiasm, which is not a thing conducive to getting views on YouTube, about new things. And don't deviate from the things that we're already doing that are proving to work. And if you're losing weight and feeling better and your brain is sharp and you're experiencing the benefits of proper nutrition, don't be so quick. Don't be so quick to change. Consider anything you might change, add or take away from what you're already doing if it's working, or solve a little problem like maybe you are getting some leg cramps at night. Our body generally will tell us what we need. It certainly does in appetite, unless, like Amy's having problems, you're always hungry when you shouldn't be. Well, that's where you have to investigate something personally that may be a little different or may be wrong. But if everything seems to be working, what's the old saying? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. and consider any changes, especially major changes to your routine in the foods you eat or the timing or whatever else, carefully. We always tend to go for the new shiny thing. That's just human nature. Just human nature. Peter's talking. Hi, Peter. How are you? So high cholesterol levels will seem to actually be protective. In the right context. Absolutely, Peter. First of all, we're not measuring cholesterol anyway. When you get a, quote, cholesterol test, nobody's measuring cholesterol. That may sound strange, but they're not measuring cholesterol. They're measuring lipoproteins, which may or may not contain cholesterol, depending on the particular job and what they're delivering. But lipoproteins are not cholesterol. They are a carrier of cholesterol, and the amount of cholesterol inside these little carriers is an estimate in all of these tests. So while we're so busy being focused on cholesterol levels, we're never really measuring cholesterol. There is no such thing as good or bad cholesterol. Cholesterol just is. It's a molecule. Is there good or bad water? No. A water molecule, H2O, is a water molecule. If that water happens to be contained in a vehicle or inside of a jar, and you have decided in your infinite wisdom that this particular jar is a good jar and that particular jar is a bad jar, can you call the water inside the bad jar bad water? Does that make sense? If you don't like the container that something's carried in, can you call the substance itself bad? That's what we're doing with cholesterol. If we think the LDL that carries the cholesterol might be damaged because of glycation or oxidation and gotten small and dense and burrows underneath the walls of our arteries and causes inflammation and eventual plaque buildup, if we think those LDLs that we have damaged by our poor diet dictated to us by misinformation, if we think that those LDL particles are causing us problem, can we label the, quote, cholesterol, innocent cholesterol, a molecule that is what it is, can we call it bad? The mere fact that we still use the term cholesterol, the fact that Peter in this comment talked about high cholesterol levels. That's wrong, but yet I do it. We all do it. It's become so ingrained in us. We're talking about high LDL weight, the total weight, milligrams per deciliter. It's not a count. It's not the number or amount of cholesterol. It's the weight, the total weight of cholesterol is a misnomer. It's a fabrication. It's vapor. It means nothing. It tells you nothing. The whole lipid panel pretty much tells you nothing except the weight of the lipoproteins. And we determined that if the weight of the lipoproteins that are high density, the HDL, are high, and the weight of the very low density lipoproteins that contains mostly triglycerides is lower, that statistically, according to some tests, we have a lower risk of heart disease. But beyond that, we don't know. We are dealing in fantasies and estimates. It's not an exact science. It may not even work that way. We're just theorizing. We can't see this stuff. It's too small to actually watch it happen under a microscope. We theorize. Kiltz doesn't call it science, he calls it scientism. And I agree. Now, we know these things about the whole cholesterol nonsense, which is why it's a hoax designed to get us to buy drugs. Drugs which are proving by laboratory tests to shorten our lives and not solve the problem, because just as many people have heart disease, maybe more, with low cholesterol than with high. And again, there's that term. It's not measuring cholesterol, it's measuring lipoproteins, which are conveyance mechanisms that carry non-water soluble things through a water-based bloodstream. They carry fat through our blood. And fat and water, grease and water will not mix. So there needs to be a particle that you fill up with these fat-soluble things that will dissolve in water, and that's what a lipoprotein is. The doctors, what I just said, the scary thing is half the doctors out there don't even know that. It's terrifying. It's terrifying what they've done with that one number. Terrifying. Terrifying. So, Peter, yes, but we have to stop using the word cholesterol. I'm guilty of it like everybody else. We have to say LDL. Instead of saying your cholesterol is high, say my LDL is high. And by that, we mean the total weight, because there's different density of LDL particles and different states they're in depending on how damaged they are. And that's what's important. And that's what we do need to know. And the only way to find that out is with an NMR, a nuclear magnetic resonance test, that actually separates the LDL count into more distinct groups and identifies not only the weight of the small damaged particles, but the actual particle count themselves. These are numbers that mean something, but we're still not measuring cholesterol. We're still talking about LDL particles. And once you know that it's the small, dense LDL particles that are doing the damage to your arteries and causing atherosclerosis, and that the way to get rid of the small, dense particles is to stop introducing those things that oxidize them and glycate them. And those are sugars and mostly anything that gives oxidative stress, like seed oils. And that's the cure for atherosclerosis and how to be healthy. And it's got nothing to do with the molecule named cholesterol, without which we cannot live. We cannot live. And that's backed up by the fact that so many of the meta-analysis of our studies that we do have these days are showing that those people with the lowest HDL and the highest LDL have the lowest all-cause mortality, are living longer, and are healthier. The exact opposite of what your doctor thinks when he prescribes a statin to you, when he should be prescribing a diet free of plants and seed oils. But that doesn't make him any money, or the drug companies. It doesn't give you an excuse to have to come back every couple of months. It doesn't give you an excuse to have to go to the lab and have your blood tested every couple of months to make sure that these statins aren't destroying your liver. Don't you find it funny that when they give you this poison, when they give you these drugs, that they have to check you every 3 or 6 months to make sure that your liver enzymes aren't at a point where it indicates that these drugs are killing you? Do you want to take something that requires them to look closely at you frequently to make sure that they're not killing you? Is that the kind of thing you think is healthy for you? I don't think we think that. I'm looking for some questions here. Lori says, question, old guy, can we have some music, please? I'll stop talking. No, I can't stop talking. That's why I'm here. Any quick questions? I wish I could react, but I only got 5 minutes left, and I have blown all the time already because I'm so excited. So excited. And question, Mitch, are you saying all soil has been ruined by our farming? I think most of our soil has been ruined by our farming. Look at what we do to this stuff. Look at the chemicals we pour into the soil on our farms. Fertilizer, which it doesn't have, when a cow craps in a field, how many different compounds are in that? It's called bullshit. That aren't in a chemically manufactured fertilizer that just has a very few compounds in it. How many of the nutrients, how much magnesium, how many of all the electrolytes are in the fertilizer that we spray? And then what happens to all those insecticides and herbicides like glyphosates that we spray all over the soil? What do they do to the food? The animals eat the food. They certainly aren't good for us when we eat the food. So, yes, we are ruining the soil. And there are places where animals roam and crap and eat, and that is sustainable. But most of the factory farmland is monocropped, and the soil is being raped. So I don't think that anybody can dispute that by the fact that if they don't put the fertilizers down, the artificial fertilizers, nothing grows in this crap anymore. You may as well plant it in the sand at the beach. Any more questions? Question. Does drinking coffee before getting blood work make your LDL show high? I never heard that, Rick. I never heard that. It might. I think you're supposed to be fasted when you go. So anything might have an effect. There may be some tests that it does, the caffeinated or something in the coffee might change a little something. I don't think it's going to. I can't see where it would have too much effect on your LDL. But I would get, if you're going to get your blood test, I would get it fasted. I don't particularly get blood tests unless I'm looking for something particular. I think most of them end up, rather than helping us, scare us unnecessarily and give us, we may take an action or change something that we maybe shouldn't have because the test either didn't give us accurate information or we don't really understand the meanings of it. But I don't think. Lambs. Hi, Lambs. How are you? Question. Your thoughts about Kiltsey's bombshell about Otto Warburg and Krebs yesterday? I'm not going to comment about that. I don't actually really, to be truthful, remember exactly what he said, but Kilts likes to say shocking things that really go against what everybody thinks. Whether he's saying he believes it or not, sometimes he's just trying to stimulate thought. So I don't remember the context of that. I don't agree with everything he says, and he doesn't agree with everything I say, and nobody agrees with everything anybody else says, but that doesn't mean I don't think he's a brilliant man and respect his opinion on everything. So I don't want to criticize him, and I certainly don't see the need to do that, but he had a reason for saying whatever he said. And remember, these guys lived a while ago. We certainly know a lot more now, or know a lot more about what we don't know now. And everything we do know, in most cases, is just theory. We're just theorizing based on what evidence we can actually interpret about how things work. And as far as all these pathways we keep talking about, most of those things are still just, well, it must work this way because this is the result, but we're still just theorizing because most of that stuff is small and happening at a level that's too small and too fast for us to actually observe the chemical reactions and the molecules and the electrons moving around. We can only guess at that kind of stuff. Cruising through this, looking for questions. It is 8 o'clock. Tempest fugits, my friend. Tempest fugits. That's Latin. It means time flies. Rick, thought on drinking coffee before blood work? Yeah, it's a bad idea. Okay, well, we already talked about that, but yeah, I don't think so. I wouldn't drink caffeine or anything before you get blood work because something's going to change in your body. I mean, if you don't get a little kick out of it or enjoy it, why drink it in the first place? It costs money. Save yourself some money. Drink water. Although if my water bill gets any higher these days, I'm going to try to find some other alternative that's less expensive. I don't know what that might be, but water certainly isn't free. Not the certainly not the San Pellegrino, which costs about $1 a bottle. So I guess in that respect, it's not too bad. The water in the tap is definitely cheaper. So I filter it with a Brita filter, and I think I'm doing something really good for myself until I see the video that says, don't fool yourself, Brita filters don't do shit. So that's the problem. Everything we think we're doing right, somebody's telling us that not only are we doing it wrong, but we're actually hurting ourselves, and better not to do it at all. And we're sitting on, what can I believe? And my answer to that is, not very much. Not very much. Looking around at the crap that comes our way every day, how much of it is just that? How much of it is crap? With a dollar sign hanging at the end somewhere. Any more questions? I'm racing through it. I am at 7:54 in the chat. Trying to read a little bit. Your thoughts about Kelsey's, but I got that one already. Ask Kelsey what he thinks to explain it. Rough Carnivore, good morning, my friend. How are you? And I did it. I got to the bottom of the chat. And Amy says, no crap, Mitch. I got lambasted last night for something I did in the past. Well, I hope you don't think I lambasted you, Amy. I just, it's that, one of the things that just sets me off is every time I hear about that protein-sparing modified fast, and somebody throws Maria Emmerich up to me as a picture of exactly what the healthiest human being should look like, I say, I don't want to hear that. Come on. Come on. It doesn't make sense. And now we're finding so much out about protein. Protein poisoning, too much protein. Protein is, and even Kelsey says it all the time, it's converted to sugar so rapidly. At least sugar is converted to fat, but the protein, if you don't need it, first of all, it all gets broken down into amino acids anyway. A lot of what happens depends on your digestion. It's very complicated. Eat fat and any type of diet. any diet that tells you not to eat the fat, which the protein sparing modified fast is a low fat, I think is something we just, by that rule alone, stay away from. I don't think any good things can come from keeping the fat out of your diet. I don't care what you call it. It's the fat that adds the flavor, and it's the fat that triggers the satiety. Why would you want to eat something that does not trigger satiety? And protein does not do that. And if you are eating, Amy, only a high protein, low fat diet and saying that you're always hungry, my answer to you would be, duh. Duh. Because I think we've pretty well figured out that it's the fat that gets the leptin flowing and triggers our satiety, not the protein. Not the protein. It's the fat. So everybody tells you to eat a high-fat, moderate protein diet. I think it's on the right path, and that's what I shoot for. I absolutely try to make sure that every meal I eat is at least 60, 65, 70% fat. And I use my body's natural evidence, and that is the consistency of my stools. Perish the subject, to tell me if I'm getting too much fat, not enough fat, or like the Three Bears, it's just right. It's just right. But I wasn't yelling at you last night, Amy, when that thing came up. I was just frustrated about seeing how easily we can be led to deviate from what I think we've all discovered so far. It may not be a randomized controlled trial, but it's a ton of anecdotal evidence. All of us losing our cravings, losing weight, getting our brains back, feeling good, the pain going away, the fertility increasing by simply focusing on eating a high-fat diet. And I know you know that. I know you know that. You've been doing it a long time. And if something isn't working, and that's a problem today. You say, well, go to a doctor. Well, I don't trust any doctors. So who do you go? Maybe go to the quick oil change place. Maybe one of their mechanics knows enough to help you diagnose what your problem is, because sure as hell the medical community doesn't. They just know how to spend your money, or the insurance companies or the government's money. So I got to the bottom of the chat, everybody. A little happy music. I think we accomplished something today. I certainly talked a lot. I've had a good time, and thanks so much, all of you, for coming. If I missed saying, Amy's still saying, I'm always hungry on a high-fat diet. I can't even imagine that, Amy. And I wish I could tell you how to even go about troubleshooting that. That's got to be one of the most frustrating things. And if I can think of anything, I think it might help. I certainly will let you know. But you're a smart girl. There's no doubt that you're not misinterpreting the signs. When you're hungry, you're hungry. Somewhere, something in your body doesn't think you're getting all the nutrients you need, because that's what's supposed to trigger hunger. And that's what triggers satiety for most people that do eat the high-fat, moderate protein diet and eat all animal products, because most of us are hardly ever hungry. So all I can say is I feel for you, and I'll think about it. Not that I know any more than anybody else, but it's quite a subject. Quite a subject. And Bro Lewis Faith Hope in Jesus says, how do you check your stool? Well, basically, you stand up, you turn around, and you look down. And you're going to see little hard balls. That's constipation. You're going to see nice long looking stools, or you're going to see brown water, and that's diarrhea. And that's how you know. Glad you asked. Aren't you glad you asked me that question? Gabby says, Poop Patrol. Yeah. I mean, you get a sign. Same thing with peeing. Same thing. You can tell if you're hydrated or not. Is your pee crystal clear? Is it dark in color? We get these signals. We don't need to measure everything in a laboratory. They did not have laboratories back in the day of the Flintstones. Sorry. At any rate, on that note, I'm going to say goodbye before I get in real trouble here. I tell you, I will see you tomorrow night, Tuesday Night Live, and we'll have a panel, and we'll continue the discussion on these things. And if I missed saying hi to everybody or anybody today, hi. Glad you were here. Thanks for coming, my friends. Take the rest of the day off, and let's hope I got the right button clicked and the outro actually plays, and eat meat.